Are you looking for the best retro and classic consoles in your budget? Well, in today's video we break down the top 5 best retro and classic consoles. I made this list based on their price, quality, durability and more. To find out more information about this product, you can check out the description below and also make sure you subscribe for more reviews. Okay, so let's get started with the video. Starting at number 5, we have the PlayStation Classic. The original PlayStation holds an interesting spot in the landscape of the evolution of gaming. It was amongst the first, and certainly the most popular, console to truly push the 3D frontier, expanding beyond the flat 2D planes of gaming's primitive origins and launching a revolution that would define the future of the medium. For some, it's iconic, and rightfully so. Games like Final Fantasy VII and Resident Evil, both included on the PlayStation Classic, are some of the most revered titles in gaming. They also shaped the landscape of gaming for years to come. Although some high-profile exclusions like Castlevania, Symphony of the Night or Gran Turismo rankle a bit, Sony has done an excellent job picking a slate of titles that's broad enough to represent one of the most diverse libraries in console history. The whole package is a great nostalgia trip not only for anyone looking to relive the mid-90s, but also for anyone who's played the endless flood of sequels to these games and wonders where those series originated. Moving on at number 4. We have the retro games, the C64 Mini USA version. While most of the retro consoles out there emulate the top dogs in console history, there's also an option for the Commodore 64 fans of the world. The recently released THEC64 package comes with an adorably miniaturized version of the keyboard PC namesake as well as a full-sized version of the original joystick. In fact, the hardware included with this pack is perhaps the most well-thought-out and most satisfying version of the console re-release aesthetic. The hardware capabilities are also pretty impressive here, allowing for 720p output via HDMI cable, but also allowing for plugging in an external keyboard via USB to use the system as an actual computer. A nice nod to the 64 kilobytes of RAM. There are 64 titles included, and while that number is really nice to see, it does feel like retro games has stretched to include a quantity of titles, rather than focusing on quality. Obviously this will depend on your particular gaming preferences, but a few of our favorites are Impossible Mission, Speedball, and Street Sports Baseball. The whole thing will set you back around $40 most of the time on Amazon, which is a good deal if you're an original Commodore fan. At number 3, we have the Nintendo NES Classic Edition. When the classic consoles started coming out every few months in the mid-2010s, the classic game companies really hit on something special. Capitalizing on older generations' nostalgia, the plug-and-play consoles flew off the shelves so quickly that they became scarce collectibles in and of themselves. One major drawback of this is that the prices are still astronomically high for these devices. As is the case with the SNES Classic, the NES Classic can be had for right around $200 on sites like Amazon because it has to be special ordered from backordered stock, mostly from overseas. If you can stomach that price point, and the original NES experience is that important to you, this classic console will give you everything you're looking for. At number 2, we have the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System, while not the first console Nintendo released, earns its spot as one of the most successful of all time. While the original NES broke ground, the graphics and gameplay afforded by the SNES redefined that ground. The SNES Classic Mini is a welcome introduction because it brings with it all the warm memories of that system in a much smaller format. Plus, because there are 21 classic games preloaded onto the hard drive, you can access many of your favorites without the need for digging your bulky cartridges out of our attic. Most of the quintessential games are here. Things like the original Super Mario Kart and Street Fighter II, arguably the best in the series. You'll also find first-party standbys like Super Mario World, Zelda, A Link to the Past and the first Star Fox. Technically there are only 20 original games included, because Nintendo also loaded on Star Fox 2, an installment of the classic spaceflight adventure that was actually never released. The system comes with 2 classic wired controllers and connects to your TV via HDMI. And finally at number 1. We have the Super Mario Bros. The original Game & Watch console was released in the 80s as Nintendo's first handheld game system. And, naturally, when Super Mario celebrated his 35th anniversary in 2020, Nintendo wanted to celebrate in a number of ways. The Nintendo Game & Watch re-release features the full Mario Bros. Original adventure, now displayed on a larger LCD that shows the game in bright, vibrant detail. The enclosure is so similar to the original that Nintendo has even included the ultra-squishy rubbery A, B buttons and the plastic Y D-pad. And because the modernized version of the classic handheld system features more power and more storage, Nintendo has also included the second Mario Bros. Game, what they're calling the Lost Levels, as well as a novelty Mario juggling game. There is a clock mode that cycles through 35 classic animations to pay homage to the classic Mario aesthetic. While the system plays well enough, the tiny console and true to the original buttons don't make for a very comfortable gaming experience. But, that's not really the point here. This is a novelty piece of merch, meant simply as much an item for your gaming collection as it is an actually functioning device. So, while the price feels a bit high for the functionality, it might be worth it for the true Mario fans out there. Thank you for watching guys, I hope you liked this video. If this video was helpful to you, please make sure a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe.